Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona, thanks for joining. Today's class is a 60-minute flow class combining some gentle movement as well as some acupressure and a few yin poses, all designed to relieve tension and congestion in your hips, your upper back, shoulders and neck. So it's a really great antidote for our sitting bodies that we live in. And the only prop that you'll need for class today is a small ball. I've got a golf ball here, but you could easily use a tennis ball or anything that's small and round. And if you like something to cushion your sit bones on, sitting tall, you might like a blanket or a block, and that's all you'll need. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for joining. Namaste. And begin your practice in a comfortable cross-legged seat. You can use a blanket or a yoga block underneath your sit bones to allow you to sit comfortably. And rest your hands easy on your thighs. And balance evenly on your sit bones, rising up tall through the spine. And when you feel ready, just softly close your eyes. Taking a few quiet moments, a few quiet, deliberate breaths to arrive and land on your mat. Softening the space between your brows, the corners of your eyes. And tuning into the feeling tone of your breath, easeful and full. And start to sense the parts of your body moving with your breath. First your belly, your ribs, your chest expanding as you breathe in. And then notice a gentle softening of your shoulders, the ribs, your belly on your exhale. Feeling your breath now touching the full circumference of your torso, the front, the back, the lower and upper lobes of your lungs. And letting a natural rhythm and evenness to your breath very gently emerge. Deeply breathe in, breathing out. And taking 3 more full cycles of breath. Breathing out gently, nodding your chin toward your chest and opening your eyes. And just now taking your fingertips by your side. We'll start to coordinate your movement with this unhurried breath you've established. As you breathe in, sweep your right arm forward and over to your left, up and over your right ear. Nodding your left ear to your left shoulder. Then swim your right arm back to your side, bringing your head upright. Left side now, left arm reaches right ear to your right shoulder. And then swim your left arm down, fingertips by your side, torso upright. And we'll do that once more on each side, just concentrating on inviting your breath to lead and guide your movement. Left side now. Now we'll add on. Right arm sweeps over to your left and let your chin now roll around the front of your chest to gaze up underneath your right armpit. Taking your skull, your ears, your chest back in space, expanding. And as you exhale, return to center, sweeping your arm back down. Left side, breathing in, left arm up and over. Invite your chin to roll like a pendulum over the front of your chest to gaze up. Exhale, relaxing back to center. And we'll keep adding on. Right arm circles forward and up. Your chin hovers over the front of your chest to gaze up. Hold here. Now take your right hand to cradle the back of your skull, pressing your head into your hands, pointing your right elbow up. And as you exhale, just curl in, guiding your right elbow down toward the floor, taking your head toward your heart. As you inhale, open and expand, right elbow points up. Exhale and release, return to center. Left side combination now, left arm up and over to your right, send your gaze up. Left hand to the back of your head, elbow up. On your exhale, point your elbow down, chin to the chest. Inhale, open up, elbow up, expand. And exhale, release, swim your left arm back. Last flow now, adding on a lateral stretch, right arm up and over. Float your gaze up. Taking your hand to the back of your head. Your inner right elbow moves back in space, and as you exhale, curl in. Inhale, expand. Exhale, right hand to the floor now. Slide it away and reach your left arm up and overhead. Lateral stretch. Easing off as you breathe in. And tip a little deeper as you breathe out. Coming all the way upright, fingertips to the floor. Final flow now, left arm reaches up. Shift your gaze up. Take your hand to the back of your head, and as you exhale, curl in. Inhale, open up, lean your skull back into your hands. And as you exhale, left hand to the floor, right arm up and over, moving with your breath, backing off as you breathe in. And exhale, just finding your comfortable edge in this lateral stretch. Breathe and pause. And gently release. Both hands down by your side. We'll keep it rolling and warming the shoulders through their full range of motion. Arms up overhead as you breathe in. Press your palms. And as you exhale, lower your arms, interlock your fingers. Turning your hands inside out, press your palms away round your spine, chin to the chest. And as you breathe in, take your arms up overhead. Release your hands, fingertips to the tops of your shoulders. Inner elbows nice and wide at the height of your shoulders. And then just start to draw circles with your elbows, any direction there. And take 2 more wide circles through the shoulders. And roll back now in the opposite direction. Moving in your comfortable range of motion. Now as you breathe in, sweep your arms wide at shoulder height. And as you exhale, guide your right arm across your body to the left, across your chest, bend and hook your left elbow to your outer right arm. Just pause. Gently resisting your right arm into the clamp of your left elbow. So you're very gently amplifying that stretch sensation into your outer upper arm. You can let your right shoulder relax down as you breathe out. Gently releasing, arms out wide, breathe in. Opposite side now, left arm across your chest, hook your right arm, pause and breathe. Deep, steady breath. Your jaw can relax here, avoiding any extra muscular effort where it's not required. Releasing now, breathing in, arms up overhead. And as you breathe out, invite your right elbow to bend and swim your right hand down in between your shoulder blades. Left hand just catches your right elbow there. Pause. And tuning your awareness to the location of the sensations you can feel. Very lightly press the back of your head into your forearm to coax your head upright and your neck to feel tall. Breathing all the way up to your chest. Complete breath out, down to the belly. Just keeping the position of your hands. We'll take a mild side bend to your left now. Tracking the movement of sensation down into your armpit from the back of your arm. Make your way back to center. Breathe in, send your arms out wide as if you're going to hug someone. And as you exhale, take your right arm on top of your left arm for eagle arms. Either winding the hands, pressing the palms, or catch opposite shoulders there. Lifting your elbows so your eyes can meet the cross of your arms. And gently project your forearms forward, spreading the architecture of your upper back. Then take your chin very lightly toward your chest and exaggerate that feeling of slightly rounding in, broadening your back. Hold and breathe. Preparing to move as you inhale, arms release, take them wide. As you exhale, eagle arms left side, left arm on top, right arm under. Breathe and lift where your elbows crossed, gaze steady. Exhale, gently softening into your upper back, dropping your head toward your chest. Breathing smooth. Releasing, arms up overhead, just taking half cow there. Left elbow bends, left hand swims down in between the shoulder blades, right hand catches your left shoulder. Back of your head just pressing lightly into your left inner wrist, inner forearm, so your head's not nodding forward. Take a gentle side stretch, nothing too exaggerated, tipping out over to your right. Track the sensation down the arm, the side waist. And inhale, coming upright. Exhale, release, fingertips down by your side. We're just going to pause here, placing your palms face up on your thighs or on your knees there. Gently close your eyes. And simply notice what you feel, tune in, be still. Keep breathing. When we mobilize this coat hanger of muscles around the shoulders, the neck, the upper back, we not only bring warmth and circulation to these parts of our body, but we also address any energy imbalances which may be preventing us from letting go of things that are just no longer serving us. And just keeping your eyes closed and in this position of receptivity, your palms up, drop your chin in toward your chest, feel the ligaments gently lengthening down the back of your neck. And then just slowly start to lift your chin and start to point your chin up toward the ceiling, dropping your skull back in space and opening through the front of your throat, elongating the jaw. Just notice how you feel through the very top part of your spine, your shoulders. And then as you exhale, gently release, blinking the eyes open. So from here, we're just going to consolidate and offer our upper body a final release here. We'll hold an acupressure point known as the triple Energizer point. So because this particular meridian runs into the wrist, the forearm, the shoulders, and the back of your neck, it's very helpful for freeing congestion all the way along this pathway. And to locate it, we're just going to turn our hands over. You can start with the left or the right side. So if you're starting with the right, just making a fist with your right hand and find the groove between your fourth finger and your pinky behind the knuckles. There's a little indentation there. Just start to massage and gently apply some pressure into that little groove. You can close your eyes here if it helps you to feel less distracted, and you can really tune in. And very gently increasing that pressure until it feels quite firm into this point. Just offering your undivided attention to this point. Breathing deeply in. Exhale completely. Just holding here for another 30 seconds. Gently and slowly releasing so you don't just whip your finger or your thumb off there. And then we'll go over to the other side. So just finding that indentation between your fourth and pinky finger behind the knuckles. Start by massaging that particular point, and it may feel less sensitive or more sensitive on this side, and usually this will correspond with that pathway on the same side, indicating perhaps some congestion or asymmetries which you would be able to sense here with this particular pressure point. And sometimes you can actually feel a little pulse under your finger or under your thumb there as you press down and increase that pressure until it feels firm. And that little pulse that you might be able to feel is a good sign. It just means that there's more energy flowing in that particular area now as a result of the pressure. Just here for another 30 seconds, quietly breathing. And very gradually releasing the pressure that you've applied. And quietly opening your eyes and moving forward onto all fours. Setting yourself up in a tabletop position, spreading your hands, your fingers to the end range, knees underneath the hips. And we'll start to mobilize the joints of the spine in unison with your neck and your shoulders now. So as you breathe in, press into everything you've got in contact with the mat, soften your belly, look up, open your throat. And as you breathe out, slowly, slowly round your spine and drift back into a child's pose, buttocks to your heels. We'll do that a few more times, just gliding up onto all fours, gently arching your spine. Top of the inhale, you're looking up. Exhale slowly, starting top of the spine, through the middle, lower back, tailbone, buttocks to the heels. And just move in your own time, one more round in each direction. Take your long, unhurried breath with you. Now we're just going to add the arms here. Keep your left hand down in child's pose. As you glide up, swim your right arm back, up and over to the floor. Buttocks to the heels. And then glide up left side, left arm swims back like a freestyle stroke. Forward to the floor, buttocks to the heels. One more each side, just like that. So just find your own range of motion, the one that feels comfortable, where you're gliding in your shoulder joint. Left side now. And then land in a child's pose. Breathe in to the low back spine, the lower back ribs. Breathe out, soften further your shoulders, your jaw and your mouth. Gently gliding up onto all fours here. Keep your hips positioned above your knees, knees hip width, walk your hands forward. Come into Anahatanasana, heart opening pose, lovely shoulder opener as well. You can take your hands a little wider than your shoulders. And then just melt your chest down toward the floor. And try not to dump into the shoulders. And a nice measure of that is just trying to keep your ears in line with your arms there as they extend. You can feel no tension through the sides of your neck. Everything feels long and extended through your spine. Your breath steady, your mind quiet. And then take your gaze forward. Melt down onto your belly, walk onto your forearms there, set them up shoulder width apart, preparing for Sphinx Pose. Stretch all your toes back, activating the leg muscles, pressing the pubic bone down into the floor, just very gently arch up through your spine. through the lower back, middle back, upper back, nice and evenly, so no one part of your spine feels abrupt. You're feeding your chest forward through your arms. And you've got that same even quality to your breath. Just here for one more. As you breathe out, melt down to the floor, take your hands by your ribs and just slowly make your way back into a child's pose to transition. And then downward facing dog. And keep a little bend in the knees there. Let your chest travel toward your thighs with your knees bent. Extend through the sides of your waist, through your armpits, through the reach of your arms. And just check in. Make sure your head is hanging heavy. Spine is cascading down evenly. And start to pedal out through your heels. There's no rush. Any movement that feels good. And all this movement encourages our body's own biological lubricant, our synovial fluid, to move into the cavities of our joints and reduce stiffness and friction. And when we move, we physically send more water to the synovial fluid, which increases the amount of lubrication in our joints so they're able to glide and move more freely. That's why it's so important to stay hydrated and to also move and not be too sedentary. Because when the synovial fluid is hydrated, it acts as a shock absorber between your cartilage, and it also acts as a filter, letting nutrients reach the cartilage. And all of this contributes to optimal joint function. So we can move and glide more smoothly without congestion. From here, just going to look up in between your hands, take a little bend in the knees and walk yourself forward to the top edge of your mat. Position your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees deeply so your torso's touching your thighs, your head's dropping right at the end of your spine. You can catch opposite elbows there, or you can just let your hands dangle and you can take a little sway side to side. A roll through the soles of your feet from your heels to your toes. And just thinking about staying really loose and free and easeful in your body. And then just sway yourself back into stillness. With a long breath in, just slowly rise up, come all the way to stand. If it feels good, sweep your arms out and overhead. And then as you exhale, rest your hands to your heart center. And find your optimal posture, even through all four corners of your feet, legs lightly engaged, not locked. And an openness, a spaciousness across your chest. Relax, feeling across your shoulders. One slow mandala flow here to open up through the inner thighs, the front of the thighs and the hamstrings. Take a deep breath in, reach your arms overhead. Nice slow out breath, hinge from your hips, bend your knees, forward fold, Uttanasana. Breathing in, come up halfway. As you exhale, take a long stride back with your right foot. Coming into lizard pose, set your right knee down on the floor, point your back toes and take your hands to the inside of your right foot. Right knee's positioned over your ankle, your inner left thigh is pressing into your outer left arm there. And you can take a little bit of movement. You might like to rock a little forward and back. You might like to circle your hips. You can stay on your hands, or of course if you have that mobility, come down onto your forearms. Just prioritize staying open through your chest so your spine doesn't round if you come down a little lower. Nudge into all those areas in and around your left hip. And just coax a little bit of movement into the hip, a little bit of warmth. And then reframe your left foot, hands on either side of your front foot, and we're going to come into gate pose. So you're going to turn around to your right foot moves behind you, and you straighten your left leg, and if you can, you might need to reposition it. Left leg straight and peel the sole of your left foot off the floor so your left toes curl back and toward the ceiling. Take your arms out wide. And when you feel steady, just take your left hand down to your left leg and reach your right arm up or overhead. Palm faces down, fingertips reach away. You can pulse a little with your breath. And just gently, gently move the hips forward in space. So you almost pike the hips a little up. Find a nice light stretch through the right side of the waist, in between all the ribs, the intercostal muscles. And here we're going to circle around the mat. As you breathe out, windmill both hands to the back of your mat. And step back to plank pose. We're going to pause here. Hands underneath the shoulders, fingers spread, pushing the floor away, legs strong, thighs engaged, heels reaching back. Light squeeze to your buttocks and your low belly. Keep your gaze forward and just notice where your head is, making sure it's in line with the rest of your spine, not dropping or drooping. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll take a half flow here. So as you breathe in, just ripple forward to your high push-up, just where you were, and then soften your knees to a hover, lift your hips, and reverse back to downward facing dog. Deeply breathe in. Smoothly breathe out. Let go. Breathing in smooth. And exhale, let go. From here, we're going to send our right foot forward in between our hands and come into lizard pose on the opposite side, hands on the inside of your right foot. And hug your right knee to your upper right arm. And then play with a little bit of movement. Left knee can soften down to the floor if you haven't already. You can circle your hips. You can rock back and forth, or you can stay still. An option to come down onto your forearms if you feel like a little bit of space has opened up for you there. And making your way into a gate pose now. Left foot behind you, turning toward your left, right leg straightens, and the sole of your right foot peels off the mat to turn your toes toward the ceiling. Arms out wide, expand across your chest through the reach of your arms before tipping toward your right leg, right hand, right leg, left arm overhead. Light squeeze to your buttocks to bring your hips forward in space. Lift the front of your hip points up so you're not soggy in the belly. And we're releasing here back to the top edge of our mat. Hands windmill over and step back to plank pose. Hold and pause here. Nice strong shoulders, broad through your upper back. Head in line with the rest of your spine. And then push into your hands, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And take a half flow, ripple forward on your in-breath, high push-up. Soften your knees as you breathe out, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply in. Take a complete breath out, let go. Take one more cycle of breath, just like that. As you breathe out, take the knees to the floor, your buttocks to your heels, and arrive in a child's pose. Any position with your arms by your side, forearms down or arms lengthening. And we're going to shift gears now, taking it into a more yin style practice for your hips. So just slowly rolling up. And we're going to make a start by coming into a deer pose, just sweeping your legs around in front of you. So from here, you're going to take your right shin parallel with the top edge of your mat, and your left shin is going to be perpendicular with the long edge of your mat. So you make a Z with your legs. Just lifting your outer right ankle a little off the floor, right toes are flexed there. And just start with your hands on either side of your hips on the floor. And now just start to feel the left hip dropping down toward the floor and noticing that balance of oppositional rotation, an internal rotation to your left hip and an external rotation in your right hip, and just make sure you feel comfortable. Just feeling that natural asymmetry in the pose. And that tendency for the left hip to hike up a little. See if you can drop it down and create a heaviness in your pelvis. Subtly lifting the torso up and out of the pelvis. And you might find that you have enough sensation in your outer right hip there to stay just where you are, explore that feeling tone, or you might like to rotate a little more to your right and walk your hands away, perhaps coming down onto your forearms. As you breathe in, you lengthen the spine out of your pelvis. And as you exhale, you just allow your pelvis to feel heavy. Softening the left side of your waist. And welcoming any sensations you can feel on the outside of your right side buttocks. And just get comfortable here. Tune in to your natural, spontaneous breathing. And we're going to pause and linger here for just one more minute. Regulating your breath so it feels very calm and easeful. And taking one more smooth cycle of breath. And then walk back onto your hands to use them as leverage to push yourself back up to sit. And from here we'll make our way into a twist, Ardha Matsyandrasana. We're going to take our left heel to our right buttocks and step your right foot to the outside of your left thigh. So just dropping anchors into your right sole and both sit bones, so you can lengthen up through the central channel of your body and just hugging your right knee in toward you. And then from here, very slowly begin to rotate to your right, spiraling from your lower belly through the mid and upper back. And you might like to either stay hugging your right knee or take your right fingertips behind you and your left forearm down the outside of your right thigh. Doesn't need to be your deepest twist. Just pause, simply breathe. Feel the movement and quality of your breath. Sense your upright posture, a light tone in your belly. And softening the deeper muscles along your spine. And just allow yourself to be still, perhaps even closing your eyes. And taking 3 more deep breaths in and out. Taking a deep inhale here and keeping your right leg wrapped over your left, come into Gomukhasana or cow face legs, pointing your right toes behind you. And if that's not in your mobility repertoire, that's perfectly fine. Just simply cross your right shin in front of your left shin in Sukhasana. And fingertips just set down by your side and using the leverage of these anchors to really lift all through your spine. Focus on that heaviness in your pelvis and your legs and start to draw up through the sides of your waist so you can lift all through your spine. And we'll take a side stretch. We're going to tip over to your left. So left hand can set down, right arm reaches up and over. And you can even put a little bend in that right elbow. You might even like to rest your right hand to the back of your head. Allowing your breath to flow naturally. And just pause and breathe. And as you breathe in, pushing down into your left hand to bring yourself all the way up. And we'll move into deer pose on the left side now. So try keep both knees on the mat, and if you need extra padding or you felt like you needed it on the right side, just grab that now. You're going to bring the left shin parallel with the top edge of your mat, your right knees bent at a right angle perpendicular to the long edge of your mat. And placing your hands on the floor either side of your hips. And you're relaxing your right hip down now, dropping it down toward the floor. Heaviness in the pelvis. And a subtle lift through the torso. You might like to stay here or exaggerate that feeling of stretch in your hips by gently rotating to your left. Fingertips could stay on the floor here, or you can come down a little lower, slide the hands out, come onto the forearms, or even stack your fists so you can rest your head. And as you inhale, you're lengthening your spine, side waist, up and out of the pelvis. And then as you breathe out, you're feeling a real heaviness, a weight to your pelvis, softening the right side of your waist. And breathing a nice calm breath. And staying curious to all the sensations you can feel. Temperature of the stretch and how that may change as you linger here. Perhaps the intensity easing off. And taking 2 more smooth breaths in and out. And slowly pushing the floor away to rise all the way back up. And coming into our twist out of Matsyandrasana. Taking your right heel now to your left buttocks and stepping your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. So your left foot is fully grounded, all the toes down, inner and outer heel. And as an alternative, you can extend one leg out straight if it feels like it gives you a little bit more room and space. Most importantly, prioritize that tall side waist, tall neck, tall spine, low back. Hug your knee in toward your chest. Gently, gently begin to rotate to your left. And let the twist just very slowly spiral up your spine so you can feel all parts of your spine gently moving. The most mobile part is your neck. So just turning that last so you've got that full rotation through all 3 parts of your spine. You can take your left fingertips behind you for support if you'd like to go a little deeper. Right forearm can sit on the outside of your left thigh. And as you breathe out, just softening down either side of your spine. Deeper, smaller muscles. Let your breath move easefully. And take one more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly turn back, come back to center, setting up for cow face legs. And keeping your left leg wrapped on top now. Just pointing your left toes back behind you and maybe lifting the buttocks, just wedging the legs together. And if that doesn't suit your body, you can come into a simple cross-legged seat. This time your left shin would sit in front of your right shin in Sukhasana, easy seat. Fingertips down by your side. And again, just focusing on a real weight in your pelvis as you lift tall through your spine. Start to draw the sides of your waist in so you can lift even taller. And now tipping over to your right hand slides out, left arm up and over for your side stretch. Left hand can sit at the back of your skull if that feels good. You can even bend your left elbow and just wrap your left arm over the top of your head. Balancing a very gentle effort with also a sense of ease, so you can breathe smooth. Feel the places where your breath moves. Breathing into the side ribs, the armpit, the outer hips. Let your breath travel into your whole body here. And one more deep breath in. And exhale, release, unravel your legs. Just take them out in front of you and just give them a little shake out. From here we are going to recline, but before you do, grab your ball. Might be a golf ball, might be a tennis ball, squash ball, less likely. And we'll be using this as we recline back. So just make sure you've got that handy there. And we are going to set ourselves up in Shavasana. So laying down on your back, separating your feet so they're about hip width apart. And we will dive into the next acupressure point. It's actually called the jumping round point. And this particular point relieves stiffness in the hips, the low back and the buttocks. And to find this particular point, we're going to start on the left side. You find first your sacrum, so in between the buttocks, at the top of your buttocks, and then move 3/4 around into the fleshy part of your buttocks. And that's where your ball is going to go as you recline back. So just make sure that you've got that spot, that it is in line with your sacrum, the bottom of your sacrum, and it's in quite a fleshy spot. Now, oftentimes, one side might feel more sensitive than the other. You'll know when you find it. And then just gently lie back. So you've got a little bit of pressure onto the ball. Making sure that the position of the ball is not causing any pain, and you could stay and linger here with a sustainable breath for about a minute. If you find that you're contracting and tensing in defense, just try moving the ball to a spot that feels better. And once you're comfortable, you can turn your palms face up. Make sure your spine's in one straight line, chin lightly in toward your chest. And once you're set, just imagine your breath circulating around the pressure that the ball creates, and visualize your muscles softening over the ball. And so the pressure from actually sitting on the ball forces blood, lymph and toxins out of the muscle tissues. And when we go to remove it, fresh blood flows in, so the tissues receive fresh nutrients and oxygen. Just notice if you can get a little bit more comfortable here. Relax a little deeper into the back of your pelvis. You can relax your jaw. You can breathe a nice natural breath that moves your belly, your ribs and your chest very lightly. And we're taking one more deep breath in and out. And then just shifting out so you can remove the ball there, and hopefully that wasn't torture. And then just rest back, ball to one side. And before we shift to the opposite side, just notice how your left buttocks feels now. And you might feel and notice that it's perhaps a little flatter on that side, and it softens more easily into the floor. And then just shift over to the other side. And try and be quite precise where you place the ball. So find your sacrum, top of the buttocks, and then move 3/4 around into your right buttocks, into the soft, fleshy part of your buttocks. Place the ball in a comfortable position. You might notice, just really do notice how it feels left to right side. And then get yourself set, comfortable enough so you can linger here for about another minute. And these acupressure points are such a simple way, a self-help, intuitive way to address congestion in your own body. And just notice if there's anything holding you back now from completely relaxing. Whether you can sense any physical tension or mental tension. Just letting that go with an out breath. You just notice how it's possible to be in a somewhat awkward position and find this ability to adapt and feel at ease. That oftentimes it's not how flexible we are, it's just dependent on our mindset. To position yourself, to set yourself up on your mat and also off your mat in a way that allows you to let go, to relax. And we're going to let go of this ball now, taking one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, take that ball away and just let your buttocks flatten. Notice how you feel. Lift to right side there. You might like to even bring the knees in toward your chest in a wide number 11 and just roll side to side so you can massage your buttocks. So the next step and final sequence is to move and stretch your buttocks surrounding musculature. So we increase the blood flow and reset the muscle tone. And this kind of just stretching allows the muscles to be softer, more fluid, and longer in their resting state. So when we use the ball, it has the effect of unblocking the flow of circulation in the buttocks muscles. And now we just give these muscles a little bit of movement, a little bit of length. So we're going to do that through a hip groin stretch. Stay on your back there and just bring your right ankle to your left thigh. And finding a comfortable external rotation there, and slipping your hands to interlace behind the back of your left thigh. And reaching your left sit bone down along the mat so the sacrum stays grounded. We'll just breathe a few breaths here. You might notice the edge of the sensation softening there as you linger. Just follow it by bringing the thigh just a little closer toward you and angling the left thigh an inch or two to the outside of your left shoulder. And we'll take one more deep breath in. And exhale, release, and just switching over to the other side, your left ankle to the top of your right thigh. Hands interlace behind the back of your right thigh there, or in front of your shin, whatever feels more comfortable, whatever variation you have there for a hip groin stretch, recline pigeon. And see if you can just rest your head and shoulders back. If that's not possible, just take your right foot back to the floor, your left hand into a horseshoe, and just gently glide the left hip away so you get that stretch, but you keep nice and soft and easeful in your upper body as you direct yourself toward rest. And releasing here, hug both knees in toward your chest, and then give yourself another little rock side to side. You can split the knees a little wider or keep them close. And making your way into Shavasana, laying down on your back, extending your legs out straight. And taking your palms open to the sides of your body. And soften your face and your eyes close. Really relax deep into the eyes. Relaxing your jaw and your tongue. Your throat, and relax all the way down your spine. Your legs. Inviting a deep release through your whole body now. Your breath completely effortless. And just keep surrendering. Sensing that deep, rich inner space of your body spreading and receding back into the support of the floor. Allowing your breath to become seamless and effortless. And just imagining this sense of effortlessness and freedom pour into all the cells of your body. So you feel a spaciousness, a lightness, a feeling of ease rest over your whole body. slowly begin to emerge from your rest, wriggling the toes, the fingers, perhaps taking a deep stretch through your body, sweeping the arms overhead, feeling that freedom in your shoulders. And then bending your knees, taking your feet to the floor, and resting over to your right side. Checking in, noticing how you're feeling here at the end of your practice. After devoting this precious time to yourself, you can blink the eyes open, take in the light of your room, and then just really slowly drag yourself all the way back up to sit. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you found this practice helpful, and thanks to Esther for recommending or requesting it. Truly grateful for all your support, your feedback, your comments always. Take care. Namaste.